Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video. And in today's video, we're taking a look at Kizuna Clash against Halloween Kid that will be dropping on OPTC Global at around this time tomorrow, actually, for me. It's 2 o'clock here in Australia, and that's usually when the Kizuna drops. So, Kizuna Kid is the newest Kizuna that is coming out. And it was meant to be a co-op Kizuna, which kind of sucks that it isn't. As we are going to miss out on quite a lot of boxes, but as you guys can see here, there is a powered up list. I will show sort of like an infograph for that as well. I do have an infograph for what the actual stages do, and I'm going to have 3 teams for you guys for each of the variations against Kid. So Kid is I'm pretty sure he's size, strength, and int, I think, off the top of my head. I'll have to double check that one, but let's quickly just jump over to my pictures here. And let's have a look. So this is the boosted unit. Shout out to our Discord. If you do want to join, I'll leave a link in the description below. So come over and join the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there. Help out a lot of new players and old players alike. But this is the boosted list. We do have the new Shanks, who is going to be 2.5 times stats, minus 15 cooldown, 1.5 times tickets. And he's going to be super effective against all types. He's going to boost all characters by 5 times and give their HP 1.3. He also recovers 0.5 of his recovery at the end of each turn if you hit a perfect. So, honestly, if you can be bringing a friend Shanks, it's going to help you guys out significantly. Like, definitely going to help you out a lot. So, I would definitely try and bring a friend Shanks, or if you've got your own, you're very, very lucky. And you're going to be getting a lot of tickets. Next, we have Yasop and Van Beckman. They're also on a 2.5 times stat increase, minus 15 cooldowns. They give 1.2 times tickets, and they are super effective for all types as well. So, bringing them along on basically every single team is going to help out if you guys have them, as they are super effective against all types. And then we have stats times 2, minus 15 cooldowns for the Halloween batch of Mihawk and Law, as well as Buggy and Boa. We have the free-to-play Robin and Croc, free-to-play page 1, the PvP unit that is Moria and Perona, and then we have the other free-to-play Halloween units as well. I don't know how useful they're going to be, but I guess we'll find out. Then next we have the Kizuna units. All of the Kizuna rare recruits are 1.5 times stats and minus 15 cooldowns. And as you guys know, we can't use the bottom units. They just have that sort of insta-kill mechanic. So that's the boosted list. Let's just quickly now go have a look at the infograph here. So shout out to Frankie House or Pyromann. Wherever you are, we appreciate you. So as you guys can see here, we have a strength variation, a psi variation, and an int variation. And as I mentioned, we're going to have 3 teams for each of them. So let's start with the strength variation here. So let's zoom in here. God, he does a good job at this. Like, it just looks so damn good, man. If anyone knows where I can find this guy, make sure that you link him for me so I can send some appreciation. So on the strength variation, on stage 1, we get slashers, strikers, and shooters cooldown by 15 turns. And then on stage 2, we come up against Halloween Ace. He's going to slot bind our bottom row for 3 turns and cut our crew's HP by 30%. After turn 1, he's going to give us increased damage taken, which is a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Next, on stage 3, we have Kid, who's 99 turns full immunity, 99 turns normal attacks only. He has a 1-turn Great Barrier, rewinds the specials by 1 turn, and then sets all our orbs to block. After turn 1, he's going to put up a 3-turn 4-tap limit. So, like, that annoying debuff, we can only attack with four characters. He does that every single turn, so every 3 turns, sorry. So, like, you just can't avoid that. And then after 3 turns, he's going to blow away 2 random units. Basically, if you get past turn 1, it's probably game over. Turn 5 is a death hit, heals on HP cuts, the regular stuff. At level 70, he has an additional mechanic of 5 turns of damage reduction. And on level 140, he's going to do an extra turn of special rewind as well. So that's going to be fairly annoying, but I do have some teams for you guys to get around that. So let's hop back over to the game here. Let's have a look at the crews I've built. So the first crew that I have is led by Shank's crew. Now, the idea of this particular team is it's very, very flexible. So we are using Carrot as a sub with the Wonder support on this particular team. Carrot's great because she gives 2 turns of cooldowns. Plus, she has the crewmate ability where she's immune to special reverse. So with her, we can actually become the captain, get a 2 times orb boost, and get 2 turns of cooldown for our entire team. Everyone on this team is actually part of Carrot's captain ability, where she can get the 4 times to captain ability. And with the support of Wanda, we can actually rotate block orbs as well. Next, we have Magellan and Hannibal. Magellan and Hannibal are going to be our color affinity booster for this particular team. They are going to change all of our slots to quick and int and give a 2 times color affinity boost, as well as turn into Magellan and Hannibal. As you can see, this full team is full quick as well, which is great. Next, we've got Hawkins here. Hawkins, you want to use his special last. Really, he's only here so we can just get a full board of matching orbs. Not really any other reason why he's here. Plus, he's a striker cerebral, which means he's getting the full buff from our girl Carrot. We've got our leader Shanks crew. He's a 4.5 times captain, 3.5 times chainlock. You guys know how good this guy is. He's a beast. He's just a beast. Next, we have Komurasaki. Now, the reason I've got Komurasaki here is for two reasons. It's to make this team very, very flexible. Komurasaki is an attack booster, as well as having a 2 times color affinity with Magellan. It means that your friend leader, you can chop and change. So, if you want to, if you have Shankses available, you can run a friend Shanks. If you have Smoker available, you can run Smoker. That way, you can get a bigger attack boost instead of Komurasaki's. Or if you are struggling to find captains, you can bring Laffy, or you can bring another Shanks crew. This team is very, very flexible in the way that there are a lot of really good friend units that you can use to make it stronger depending on like what you need. And then you can sort of just replace units. So say you bring Shanks, you won't need the color affinity here, as this team is basically all cerebral and slashless, besides Miguel and Hannibal themselves. Otherwise, if you bring Smoke for the attack boost, you can get the super typing as well, which will work really, really well. So that's the first team. The second team I have for you is actually a Smoker-led team. So with this particular team, we are using Perispero here. Perispero is going to be our color affinity booster, as well as like as well as giving us a special charge. Now, having Perispero at max limit break and Rainbowed, or having his double special, is essential for this team. He also has the special reverse by 2 turns nullification as crewmate, so he's going to roll our specials back and give us color affinity. Then we can use our smokers. This team works best with double smoker led team. That way we can actually utilize smokers attack and or boost for 2.5 times for quick units. The way smoker works is you get stronger as you hit perfect, so start your attack pattern with Perispero. Next, after we get the attack and the orb buff, we can use the super typings as well. We've also got Cracker on this team. Cracker's going to give a chain boost to our team for 2 turns. Plus, he's going to change those block orbs, which is really, really handy. So we can have a full board of orbs. We've locked those orbs. We have color affinity. We have a 2.5 attack, 2.5 times orb. And then we can use our boy Law. Law's actually going to remove the barrier for 1 turn. That's pretty much the big reason he's here. No issues there whatsoever. And then finally, we have Bobbins. For you crazy cats that go on past level 70, Bobbins is going to be essential for you guys to remove the damage reduction that gets inflicted on level 70 and above. With the previous turn, we don't have to worry about the barrier and that, because Carrot's amazing captain ability, when she becomes captain, she just ignores barriers, she ignores defensive effects, so she's just going to fly through the damage reduction as well as the barrier. The final team is the team that I'll be rocking for pretty much the majority of the event. So it is the new Halloween batch. We have Ben Beckman and Yasop. And then we have Frankie and Bobbins again. So Shanks is our leader. He's going to be a 5 times leader. He's going to be our color affinity booster. Plus, he's going to give us a chain boost, as we do have 4 inch units on this team. We have Yasop here. Yasop is the one that's going to roll our specials forward by 2 turns. He reduces Bind and Despair and Defense up, but for this particular team, that doesn't matter. He's really just here for the special charge by 2 turns, as well as being super effective against all types. He's also immune to special reverse as well, which is very, very handy. Next, we have Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman's going to be our orb booster for this team. He also reduces barriers by 1 turn, so he's not only going to remove the barrier, but he's also going to double our slot effects. Once again, we have Bobbins here to remove the damage reduction on level 70 above, if you guys are getting up that high. And finally, we have Frankie. Now, Frankie's here purely for an attack booster. He's going to boost Slasher, Striker, Shooter, and Fighter characters attack by 2.25 for 1 turn if 3 or more enemies are present, but unfortunately there's not, so he's just going to be a 2 times attack boost for our entire team. Frankie's replaceable with any other attack booster. I just wanted to try and bring an attack booster that wasn't just sort of int based, as well as still getting some sort of color affinity as well. So did choose Frankie, plus it's going to be fun to run Frankie as well. So the ships we're using is Liberal Hind for this team. We do have the Shark Superb, which is the best ship for Kizuna when you can use it on both of the other teams, as when we have our quick leaders, it's going to be in its full effect. So they're the teams that I'm going to sort of be, like, there's some ideas for you guys, I guess, to take on the strength variation of Kid. So now let's hop into the Psi variation. Something that I did forget to note as well is, with these particular teams, we don't have any way to get around the slot bind that gets inflicted on our bottom row for 3 turns. Now, on stage 2, the mini-boss doesn't do too much until stage 3, where he rolls your specials back. I think on this one, he gives you extra damage, which is not the end of the world, especially if you're running Shanks, as you can get more healing back with your perfects. So that's something to note with these particular teams, as your bottom rows are going to get slot blinded, and there's not going to be much you can do about it. Now, if you have some more limit break materials than I do, you can max out your Yasop and Ben Beckman, and that way you can actually get slot blind removal, as they do have it as part of their limit break, but no one else on these particular teams actually does have it. So unfortunately, in the early stages, you can sort of just blitz your way through it, but in the later stages, you are going to want to stall that out. It's only 3 turns. You shouldn't be dying, to be honest, against Ace, so you should be fine. Alright, so onto the Psy variation now of Halloween Kid. On stage 1, we get our Strength In and Psy units, 15 turns of cooldown, which is very, very handy. On stage 2, we come up against Halloween Doflamingo, who gives us 4 turns of Special Bind, and after turn 1, he gives us 3 turns of all type slots being unfavorable, so you definitely don't want that. It's a pain in the ass, to be honest. I have a huge pain in the ass. On stage 3, Kid is a Psy unit. He has 99 turns of full immunity and normal attacks only. He gives us 5 turns of Despair and a 3-turn Chain Lock. After turn 1, he's going to swap out Captain out for every 3 turns. And then after turn 3, he blows away 2 random units. The death hit, you guys know the drill. On level 70, he does extend the Chain Lock to a 5-turn Chain Lock. And then at level 140, he actually extends it to an 8-turn Despair. So with sockets, that will come down to 5 turns of Despair, so no stress. It's really not that big of a deal to get around. But let's hop back over to the game now, and let's see what teams I've got for you guys. So for this particular team that I've got here, this is a Blackbeard team. Now, Blackbeard, just being the absolute monster that he is in Kizuna, he is going to work very, very well. So he is our leader here. We're going to get him up to, well, you can get him up to a 4 times attack, a 4 times or boost, plus having his super type where he gives himself the base stats. So there is that. It's going to take a little while to get to that point, but Blackbeard is just, he's very, very good, especially for Kizuna. He's very, very good. To remove the special bind that we get inflicted, we do have Time Skip Nami here. She does have the crewmate ability where she can completely evade special blind. She's going to remove our special bind by 5 turns. Very, very handy. She also has a delay mechanic, but we don't really care about that too much. To get around the Despair, we have Neptune. So Neptune reduces Despair by 5 turns. He also does 3 turns of an Orb Boost. So you need to make sure that you use Blackbeard before you use this guy's special. Otherwise, you're going to get the 1.75 times Orb Boost instead of getting the big 4 times for Blackbeard. Now, what you can actually do with this particular team, instead of bringing Neptune, if you don't have this Neptune, you don't really want to worry about the Despair, you can actually bring a friend Law. The new Halloween Law is going to completely remove Despair. Works very, very well, and it's probably what I'm going to do in the last team, especially when things start to get a little bit more hairy. On to the next unit now, we do have Miguel and Hannibal once again. They are a 2 times color affinity, 2 int and quick. However, they do give us a full board of quick and int orbs. Not the end of the world, as Blackbeard's the one that's going to be doing most of the damage. Finally, we have Page 1. Page 1's actually really, really, really good for this particular fight, as he actually removes the Chain Multiplier lock by 5 turns. He gives us damage reduction too, which is nice. But then if you use his special last, well, with Blackbeard, you've definitely used more than 5 specials, or you're going to be using more than 5 specials. He's going to be at 3.5 times chain lock for us, so that's really, really handy, as when your entire crew uses 5 more specials, you're going to get that chain lock as well. So all the supports are just stat boosters as well for this team. And like I said, if you want to, you could bring a friend Katakuri, so then you can get the conditional as well as the 4 times attack and all boost from Blackbeard, and just hit ridiculously hard. The OG Dream Team is the way to go when it comes to this particular piece of content, and if you don't have Blackbeard, you can just run Katakuri. So this is another sort of variation I throw together. It is a bit more intricate, and it's really not as good as the other as this team, I guess. I just sort of wanted to show you guys that there are a few other There are a few other units you guys can use to get around this particular piece of content. So we are using Katakuri as our leader on this particular team. If you want to bring a friend Law, you can. But the idea of this is Katakuri is here to get his conditional mechanic, which is super, super handy. But that means that we do actually need to take some shots in the early stages. We have Dofi here to remove the special bind. with double special, he can remove 4 turns of special blind. He also gives a color affinity boost, but really he's only here to remove the special blind. We do have the limited rare Kuzan on this team as well. He's going to be our color affinity booster, as well as being able to use the support of Garp to remove another 3 turns of special blind on the entire crew as well. So that's very, very handy. Then we've got Rayleigh here. Rayleigh can remove, what, 7 turns of despair, something silly? Yeah, so he does 7 turns of despair, which is excellent, as we are going to be on that 8 turn of despair. We'll 5 turns with sockets. And then to get around the chain lock, what I thought was to bring Shanks' crew. So if you use Shanks' crew on the second stage, because Shanks is a side unit as well, we're getting the cooldowns, we're going to have a 3.5 times chain lock for 2 turns. So that way we can carry it into the following stage. But obviously using page 1 is just going to be way better here. But I just wanted to show you that there is another way around it if you guys didn't farm up page 1 or couldn't be bothered, whatever the reasoning is. Finally, as your friend captain, like I said, you can bring Law to get around the despair, then you can replace Rayleigh. But the idea of this is basically you want to be bringing a friend Blackbeard if you don't have Blackbeard yourself. That way you'll be able to get super high up. If you guys are looking for a bit more of a faster team, you could definitely replace Shanks' crew with page 1, and then bring like Nami Robin for an orb boost as your leader, and then just sort of blitz your way through it that way. But thinking about it now, actually, I think you start as Nami, and Nami is a green unit, so that might not work too well. But I'm sure you could just bring like a friend Law or something like that to get the orb boost that way. The final team is the team that I'm going to be rocking. This team here should work very, very well, especially with a friend Law moving forward, because the only thing this team is missing is an orb boost. So the idea of this team is we do have Shanks as our leader. We will be trying to bring a friend Shanks as much as we possibly can. He's going to be our color affinity booster for 2 times, as well as a 5 times captain. We've got the new Mihawk on this team. I haven't finished my Mihawk. I haven't enough time to sort of max him out. It's just been so much for me to do at the moment of this game, but he'll definitely be finished up by the time that I get to Kizuna. He's going to be our attack booster. He's going to be a 2.25 times or 2.5 times int attack boost, which is very, very strong. We can use him on turn 3, carry that into turn 2, and carry that into turn 3, which is going to work out great. We have Yasop on this team. Yasop can remove the despair by 5 turns. He's also super effective against all types. He's got very high stat boosts. He's going to give us more tickets, which is great. But if you don't have Yasop, like I said, you could just bring a friend Law, and then that way you can get around the despair that way. Next, we've got Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman here is going to be our orb booster. Hey, I just remembered Ben Beckman's an orb booster, so we don't need to bring a friend Law. Cool. He's going to remove the chain lock that we get inflicted on this particular team. And he's going to double our crew's slot effects as well. So that way we can get a full board. We can have a 2 times orb boost, a 2.5 times attack boost. We've got the despair removal with Yasop. We've got a 2 times color affinity. The last thing we have to remove is the special blind, and that's where Buggy comes into play. So Buggy can remove the special blind duration by 5 turns. He also removes defense up as well, but like we don't really care about that too much. He locks our slots for 2 turns as well, which is pretty handy, and he actually has a bit of manipulation in terms of block, recovery, and T&D, and bomb orbs being changed to matching as well. So that could be very, very handy for us as well as using Shanks' super typing. We're going to have a lot of damage, as most of these units are buffed. We are using the Liberal Hind on this particular team, as our leader is a slasher or a cerebral. So Liberal Hind works great, and for the other 2 teams, we are rocking the Miguelo ship. So they're the teams that I've been put together for you guys. We've got sort of like the big damage team. We've got like the faster team here, and then we've got the high points and high tickets team for you guys. Obviously, you can interchange units here and there, whatever works for you guys, and depending on your box. I just wanted to show you that there are many units that can get around this particular piece of content. If you guys are missing something from this team, say for example missing Buggy, you could easily put Time Skip Nami there, or you could easily put Dofi there. If you're missing, say, Yasop, you could easily replace Yasop with someone like Colosseum Neptune. If you're missing a color affinity booster, you could use either like Kuzan, or there's lots of options that you guys can use. That's basically the main thing. So let's hop into the final variation now. I'm going to quickly put together 3 teams for you guys for that, and I'll see you there. So the final variation of Kid is an int variation, and on the int variation, stage 1, we get Cerebral, Free Spirit, and Slashes 15 turns of special cooldown, which is very, very nice. And then on stage 2, we come up against a int Boa. She does a 4-turn paralysis of the bottom row for her preemptive, and then after turn 1, she gives you the 3 turns of the remove sound effects, or special effects, whatever you want to call it. I hate that debuff so much. Like, just try not to get past turn 1. Otherwise, it's just going to be very, very annoying for you. On stage 3 against Kid, we get 99 turns of full immunity, normal attacks only. He puts up 3 turns of defense up, gives us 3 turns of chain efficiency down, which is like the chain growth. And then he gives us 5 turns of middle row bind. So our middle row is going to get binded for 5 turns from what I can see. The little symbol looks like it is like a slot bind though, but I'm pretty sure it's like a regular bind. After turn 1, he stuns our middle row for every turn. And then after turn 3, he does all the blow away units, death hit, heals on HP cards, less than 20% HP, gets the 2 turns and nullified damage. You guys know the drill, same as every Kizuna. After level 70, he gets the additional mechanic of 5 turns of chain coefficient down. And then after level 140, he does an extra 2 turns of defense up. So the defense up goes to 5 turns of defense up. So I have 3 teams for you guys that I've built. They are a little bit funky, but basically, the first team is built around Shanks' crew. So we do have Shanks' crew as our leader here, and this particular team relies on a lot of support. So as you guys can see, we have V1 Rayleigh, we have Bardo, and we have Kuma. So our leader here is Shanks' crew. So he's going to be a 3.5 times chain lock, which is just the easiest way for you guys to get around chain coefficient reduction. Is literally just to bring a chain locker. It just removes it completely. He's going to help us out by getting through the earlier stages. He's switchability for the 1.5 times attack, but he's also a 3.5 times chain lock and a 4.5 times captain. He is a slasher when we start the quest, and he's a psi unit, so we do have color affinity as well. The next unit we have here is Robin. Robin can give us a full board of orbs at the end as well, as after we use an attack booster, we can then switch with Shanks to give her an orb, and then she can give us a full board of orbs, as she makes everyone's orb whatever she has, and she removes defense up too, which is really, really handy. So make sure she's underneath Shanks if you guys are using that Robin. Next, we have Mihawk Perona here. I just brought Mihawk Perona because I love Mihawk Perona. Their switchability is not going to be active, but because you start as Mihawk, you can actually you can actually excuse me, you can actually get the cooldowns as he is a slasher, but you can replace this guy literally with any bind removal that you possibly want. I literally just bought them because I like bringing them, plus I like using the support of Kuma to remove 5 turns of... Oh, he does 5 turns of despair. I just realized it's 5 turns of despair, not 5 turns of bind. Okie dokie. Well, we're going to have to change that, aren't we? So, while I've got you guys, I do apologize. I'm just going to quickly... I thought I was being mad big brain, but obviously I'm being mad small brain. We're just going to bring this Nami. We'll just bring Nami. She does 5 turns of bind removal. Very, very handy. Next, we have Boa and Luffy. Boa and Luffy are very, very good, as they are like a 2.25 times color affinity booster, as well as giving us a full board of orbs as well. So that's very, very handy. And then finally, with this particular team, we are using Viola as our orb booster. We can use her special on turn 2, carried into turn 3 when things start to get a little bit hard as well. And to get around the paralysis, we are using the Bardo support as well as the Rayleigh support. So that way we've got 5 turns of paralysis removal for the second turn when we come up against the Boa. And with this particular team, I would definitely bring someone like Roger as your friend captain, or even someone like Boa as your friend captain. That way you can just get a high 2.5 times attack boost, or a 3 times attack boost with Roger, depending on how your attack pattern goes on the turn before. You'll definitely be able to do quite a lot of damage with this particular team, especially if you're using Viola and the Shanks crew switch ability. That way you can easily hit the 3 times captain ability for Roger in the later stages. But Boa will work fine here too, as well. The next team I have for you guys is actually led by Boa herself. So Boa being the first Psi super typing, she's going to work very, very well. The subs we have for this particular team, obviously we are using Boa as our leader. She has that super type mechanic that we can use a special on turn 2, so we can get the 5 times captain ability from the amount that we heal moving into the 3rd stage. With her super typing, she's going to give us a full board of orbs, as well as give us a 2.5 times attack boost for our Psi units. We have Luffy on this particular team as well. We can use him to remove the paralysis that gets inflicted on the second turn, as well as giving ourselves a 2 times attack boost, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 times attack boost to our free spirit and fighter characters. He also changes adjacent orbs as well. If you bring like a friend Roger with this team, that can help you guys out hitting that 3 million multiplier, making it very, very easy to do. And because we have Shanks, we can also use his super typing as well. Next, we've got Law on this particular team. Law's going to be really, really handy, as he is a chain locker and a 2.25 times orb booster. Plus, because Boa is a shooter free spirit, we can activate both of their effects. We have orb manipulation here as well. Plus, we can also use the support of this particular Corazon here. Now, this Corazon removes 2 turns of attack down and bind when inflicted. So when we pair him up with someone like this Shanks can actually reduce another 4 turns of bind and 4 times of chain growth to the multiplier. He's also going to give us 0.7 to that multiplier. So for the first, 70 runs, we can actually use this guy to make Law's chain boost higher, as well as removing the bind and the chain growth duration as well. So that's going to work very, very well. Plus, if you do bring a friend Roger, he can trigger the super typing as well. Finally, we have, what's her name? Alvida. Alvida's going to remove the defense up for this particular team, as well as being our color affinity booster as well. She's 2.25 to free spirit units. Our whole team is free spirit based, so it works very, very well. On this particular team, I forgot to mention that we don't actually have any defense up removal. Oh no, sorry, we have Robin. Robin's the one that removes the defense up. On to the final team now. This is the team that I'm going to be rocking. I'm going to be rocking Roger as my leader with a friend Shanks, instead of bringing my own Shanks as a leader, mainly because I can then use the super typing of Roger to guarantee myself a full water orbs. Now, the downside to using Shanks' super typing is that we can't actually get the 0 defense. So this, his super typing, besides the orb manipulation, isn't overly essential. Once again, we have so let's start from the beginning. Sorry, we do have Roger here. He's going to be our attack booster. He's going to be our orb manipulator, as well as give us the super typing for our psi units. Unfortunately, that means that it's not. Or actually, if we use Shanks' super typing, is that going to affect the super effectiveness all types for int units? Let me know in the comment section below, because I mean, I'm going to be running a friend Shanks anyway, so I'm going to have that as well. But it's going to be nice that we can have 2 super typings activated at the same time, it's going to be really cool. Next, we have Chopper. Chopper's here to remove the paralysis. He does a whole bunch of healing mechanics as well, but he's just really here to remove the paralysis. Yasop's going to remove the defense up on this particular team. He's super effective against all types as well. And yeah, that's basically the reason he's here. Next, we have Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman's going to be our orb booster. He also removes the chain growth debuff as well, which is very, very exciting. And then we have our boy Shanks. Shanks is going to be our color affinity booster, and because we're going to have 4 or more int characters, he's going to boost the chain multiplier by 0.1 as well, which means that hitting with him and the other Shanks last is going to do a lot of damage. Finally, we're going to bring a friend Shanks just for the extra tickets, and with the Liberal Hind on all 3 of these teams, especially the Psi teams, you're going to get a huge extra boost just by bringing the Liberal Hind. But there you guys go. They were the teams that I've put together for you guys to take down the new Kizuna Clash Halloween kid that is coming out within about 24 hours, or less than 24 hours now after making this video. But once again, I want to give a huge shout out to the homie Frankie House, or Pyromann, whatever you want to call yourself. If you do see this, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to link your channel, link your Twitter, anything at all, as this sort of stuff just pops up in my Discord every now and again from other people, so I do appreciate it. So if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content I post, hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lates!